Yeah, so as you can see, I'm wearing something that the Statue of Liberty would not be upset to get for Christmas. Very large headband. I bought tons of headbands. I've got loads over there, and I mean, they're frivolous, but I feel like they made my Zooms more exciting. And on really bad face days, I'd just be like kind of down here, and be like, "Hi guys, yeah, the fourth quarter is speculated money." I don't really work, so. I also bought a mini trampoline, not so frivolous, kind of good for my mental health and exercise, and I'm trying to become a mini trampoline influencer on TikTok. So I don't know why no one else has done that yet. Like,
madness.
So, that's what I'm trying to do.
Wonderful. I wish you every luck with that TikTok story. I don't understand how it works, so I won't be somebody on your feed.
I'll take you back to the beginning of lockdown, because what I think the last year has done to me, and maybe to a lot of us, it's really like upended our ideas of like what's important and what isn't, like Earth Day or not, and like what's right and wrong to a certain extent. I mean, you know, so about a year ago, I was helping to organise a hen do for a really good friend, and obviously it was going to be in real life, but things happened and we had to move it onto Zoom, and it really made us question, like, what is a hen do for in 2020 AD? If it's going to be online, if it's going to be online, like, how do we distill it down? Because for me, a hen do it's all these things together. It's a ton of booze. It is a plethora of little penis-shaped objects. Nobody knows why, but they're everywhere. Straws. They're on hats instead of corks. They're bloody everywhere. And also, I mean, arguably the best bit, by the end of the night, about 3 of the guests, like 3 women in their 30s usually, will just end up having a giant fight over who is the bride's best friend forever. That always happens. I'm never part of it. Without, like, we all know it's a husband to be, because they always marry their best friend. That's how it works. So that's quite sad. They're all left in the dust, which is a shame. Oh, yeah, it's awkward. But anyway, so we were like, let's make this traditional fun hen do. What does the bride to be want? And she was like, I want a stripper. And we were like, right, how are we going to make that work on Zoom? And her taste run towards a male stripper. So I thought, cool, okay, I've got some questions, guys. Number one, if we get him, would he wear a GoPro on his head to film everything? Because we're watching on Zoom at home and we want something to look at. And it was like, cool, okay, that's fine. He can film it and that'll be all right. Next step, do we just send him around to a house to do his socially distanced routine, like outside her window? And if we do that, how far can he get before it becomes a crime? And is it a worse crime for him to do that out there, or should he go inside and arguably break social distancing rules? But they're quite new. Do they really mean anything? Like, Boris doesn't seem that convinced by them, so I don't know. So we thought, okay, cool, let's send him in. Let's send extra face coverings to keep them safe. And instead of the traditional baby oil, which usually makes an appearance at hen do, let's send a vat of something of similar viscosity. So hand sanitizer, put the masks on, hand sanny up, and they're pretty safe. That seems like a good idea, right? And I would have suggested latex gloves, but all men, hashtag all men, have told me they're allergic to latex over the years. Relentlessly. Always at the same time of night, so no latex gloves for him. So yeah, that seems like a plan. And then there was one more thing, which arguably is not our problem as the organisers, but it's something to think about. So our friend obviously lives with her fiance. Everyone generally lives with their partner before getting married these days, don't they? So they're locked down together. He is now trapped in a hen do he was not invited to. I did make that clear. So what's he going to do? He could stay in the room with them, get a face mask on, and dive in and make their relationship a bit more interesting. Like, why not? Or he could go to another room, try and pretend it's not happening, get some noise cancelling headphones. The bass from Chicka Wow Wow really reverberates. Through the balls. So that's tough. So he could do that and just be haunted for his wedding day and possibly some of his marriage. But that's not our fault. That's to do with them. So I went ahead, you know, I had a lot of questions. These were very new problems. No one's dealt with them before. Cool, fine. And it went well, actually. It was really good, like for about the first 20 minutes until the police arrived, because they did. The thing is, like, if you're going to hang around outside someone's window filming in, I mean, that looks bad anyway. And actually, I then realised at that moment that actually our friend should have had the GoPro on her head to film him dancing. That logistics, I mean, my bad. There was a lot of evidence on the GoPro. We couldn't really deny it. So if you're gonna film into a stranger's window, the neighbours will see you, and if you insist on doing that, they will call the police, especially if you're not wearing pants anymore. So that's a lesson learned for us all. What I'd say is that the hen do is just the first step on a path that a lot of people want to take, not everyone, and that is towards marriage, family, kids. And a few of my friends did do that, become parents in lockdown, and I totally get why. Like, you wake up every day, you look at your partner, you go, God, I'm sick of this. And you think, that's been a person, and that is one safe and legal way to bring a new face into this household. And again, fun times. And that again explains Boris Johnson, I think, and why he can't count the number of his children. I always like bringing that up. And so for my friends who became mums, they still get the raw end of the deal. Like, it's just like pregnancy, childbirth, breastfeeding, like bam, 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 all in a row. And you have to stay sober through it all, I've heard. So that sounds like a lot of work. I've heard on the grapevine. And it seems like a lot. And I just think, right, if I'm going to have kids, I want to be the dad. That seems fine, doesn't it? Because dads have it. Yeah, someone really agrees. Like, yeah, it's so much easier if they're even there. I mean, like, when a man has a daughter, he's legally obliged to become a feminist. We all know this. And he has to go on Twitter and say, Twitter sphere, I am now a feminist. I now understand that women should be allowed to do things because I have a daughter. And that's great, and everyone congratulates him. But I've been a feminist my entire life, and an intersectional one, because, melanin. And nobody said well done. I've been on Bebo.com the entire time. Nothing. Not even a thank you. Bebo, where everyone is. I love a reference to Bebo. So, it's been a lot of work, and for what reward? So I would say dads historically have had it easier. Maybe men have in general, right? But something like lockdown, maybe this is the right room to say that to. But, something happened in lockdown that might have changed everything around. And I know you all know what I'm talking about, right? It's the biggest event in lockdown. Yes, it was Kim Kardashian's dead dad hologram. That was a big deal, right? So I'll set the scene for anyone who had other stuff going on. Like, for instance, not getting robbed a third time. It's actually horrible. So what happened was, it was October 2020. Kim Kardashian, a woman whose claims to fame are lost in the mist of time. Nobody knows why. She turns 40, and a Zoom call is not apparently enough for her. So lots of stuff happens. There's an island, there's sisters, and rage on the internet. And then her husband, Kanye West, a man known for music and nothing else I could find on the internet. And he says, darling, I've got you a present. It's a hologram of your late father, Robert Kardashian. So here are some facts about the guy. So fact one, he died aged 59 in 2003. Fact two, in the 70s, he dated Priscilla Presley after she divorced Elvis, player. And fact three, he was a lawyer, and he was on the defense team for O.J. Simpson, and he helped keep him out of jail in the 90s. So that's his kind of vibe. That's the guy we are bringing back to life in hologram form. And he's a winner. And I started to think, so they put a video on Twitter, and like, you do get the sense that Kanye is pulling the strings on this hologram. Like, hear me out. So Robert Kardashian, the hologram of the late, turns to Kim and says, Kim, you've married the most genius man in the world, Kanye West. He did say that. And you start thinking, like, he's only just met Kanye. How many episodes has he had the time to catch up on? So I think Kanye is scripting him, and the problem with that is it raises the bar for fatherhood like sky high, because now not only is it good enough to be a decent dad in real life, you die, then you have to be prepared to be resurrected in digital form, and then very quickly find out very good stuff about your son-in-law, because you're about to do some public speaking. You'll be very convincing. You're gonna have the facts at your fingertips, because his finger is off switch. You're gone. I'm pressurized, and it has really put me off the thought of being a dad. So I'm scaling back. I'm not. Kids, I don't know, they might be off the table entirely, and I might just stick with party planning, because I mean, the hen do didn't go that badly, did it? Yes, we are in court next week via Zoom link. There were a lot of crimes that were committed that day, but I mean, we've now got to why I'm here. Essentially, I am looking for recommendations for a good lawyer. Not that fussy, like cheap is good. I don't mind if they're alive, regular hologram, zombies, I think are in between, purgatory. don't mind any of that, you know, I'm open to all. But essentially, I do have some legal troubles. I have lost a few friends. Yeah, it's been a rough one. So if you've got any details, just pop them in the chat. You know, open to anything, even people who kept OJ Simpson out of prison, that's fine. I mean, it's been a real week for legal verdicts. The people who got George Floyd's killers into prison, people who can get cops into prison. Yeah, I mean, one step on the way to something good, we hope. But on that note, I'm going to get out of here because legally I'm about to break the 10-minute rule and I've got I'm going to go. Goodbye.